Let's talk about MicroStrategy stocks, what's happening, and what trends we're observing. I will definitely cover volatility and analyze it. We'll also look at the support levels of volatility. Additionally, I will show you a market forecast and demonstrate a strategy that allows you to make a profit regardless of the stock's direction. Let's start with MicroStrategy stocks and see what's happening. As I usually remind you, the stock highly correlates with Bitcoin. This correlation was very clear up until March. After March, as we can see, the MicroStrategy stock grew much more significantly than Bitcoin. And this decoupling continues to this day. Currently, MicroStrategy is growing much faster than Bitcoin. This company already holds more than 200,000 Bitcoins in its account. Naturally, we will also be watching Bitcoin. As we can see, there is significant resistance around $72,000, which Bitcoin has been unable to overcome, and there is support around $60,000. Bitcoin continues to move within this consolidation, and MicroStrategy is doing roughly the same. Let's look at volatility, as I think it will help us understand what's happening here. As we can see, volatility is at the 100% level, which is actually quite high. Although for a company linked to Bitcoin, this isn't unusually high. However, we can see that volatility is gradually starting to decrease, as it was previously around 120%, 130%. Now, it is slowly falling. This is partly due to the stock being in consolidation. The longer the stock stays in consolidation, the more volatility will decrease. Now, let's look at the volatility smile and what's happening there. I suggest we remove today's volatility because it skews the entire picture. On the day options expire, volatility behaves abnormally as delta drops to zero and gamma increases to incredibly high levels. Those familiar with options will understand what I'm talking about. As we can see, volatility for any expiration dates is flat towards the upside, meaning that towards the stock's increase, the volatility is flat. This suggests that traders and investors do not particularly anticipate that the stock will start to rise significantly. However, towards the downside, towards the stock's decrease, we see that volatility rises much higher. Now let's look at historical and implied volatility. As we can see, the historical value is the gray line, and the implied volatility is the white line. These volatilities are roughly at the same level, which is a good and standard situation. This is because implied volatility always returns to its historical values, and this is such a case. However, this is not very good for us because we cannot play on the volatility. I remind you that trading can be done not only with the asset itself, not only with the stock, but also with volatility. I can demonstrate how this is done. Let's use artificial intelligence to help us with this. We choose a strategy for August, say that volatility, for example, will rise, and AI helps us develop automatic strategies. But again, I'm just showing you how this might look, and I am in no way advising you to follow this. So one of the strategies offered is to sell a put option with a strike price of $1,070, buy a put option with a strike price of $1,600, and sell a call option with a strike price of $1,620 for $2,150. This strategy is called a short iron condor. It is a classic strategy for decreasing volatility. This strategy assumes that the stock will remain within a certain range. Again, I showed this only as an example of how you can play on volatility. I remind you that you can play on volatility only with options. You just need to learn how to do it. If you learn, you will definitely understand how it is done, and will be able to play not only on the stock's movement, but also on volatility. But I do not advise you to follow AI in any case. I was just showing you how it might look in practice, not just saying that the stock will rise or fall, but showing you how a strategy can be applied. However, you should only apply it if you are really a professional in this field. Now let's look at the most important thing. This is the trading volume in options. As we can see, we have a very, very large volume around the $1,800 level. This is here. And I suppose that the next price movement will be to this level. So I quite admit that the stock will touch, or at least test this level. Again, I am drawing a conclusion from the options trading volume. This level is also very, very significant. It's unlikely we will break through this level on the first attempt, but nothing is impossible. Now let's look at the overall picture. While this company has growth potential, I still adhere to a different strategy. I remind you of my philosophy. I do not predict price movements. I don't know where the stock will go. My main task is the competent management of positions. We need to buy stocks wisely, sell stocks wisely, and build a smart portfolio to earn in any situation. I also use probability theory. According to probability theory and the expected value concerning risk and profit, the odds are not in the investor's favor. While the stock may rise, the potential profit relative to the risk is not on your side. That's why I wouldn't buy this stock at the moment. I only work with mathematical models. It's better for me to miss out on some growth than to buy in a losing situation. If we analyze the history, buying at such values gives us a 45% chance of winning, hypothetically speaking. Therefore, I won't risk it, because the risk-to-reward ratio is not in my favor. That's why I'm just observing this stock for now and waiting for further developments. There is also a way to earn regardless of the situation, which I will now discuss. I'll show you a strategy that you can actually build, but I do not recommend it. This strategy allows you to profit in any case. If the stock rises to $2,300, we will earn an incredible $110,000. If the stock drops to $800, we will earn $25,000. You understand how crazy this range is. Just look at this strategy, it looks like this. Sell uncovered call options at various strike prices. However, I strongly advise against opening this strategy because selling uncovered options can be very risky. If something goes wrong, you will lose money. But consider the potential to earn in any situation, it's incredible. However, this strategy is very dangerous. It requires active management. You need to buy and sell stocks at the right time and hedge the sold options properly. In summary, while the MicroStrategy stock shows potential and its correlation with Bitcoin provides interesting dynamics, the current market conditions and the analysis of risk to reward ratios suggest caution. The focus should be on smart position management and probabilistic approaches rather than speculative moves. It's truly an art because if the stock starts to move against you sharply or drop significantly, for example, if the stock falls by 50% in a short period, losses will start to occur. To prevent this, the strategy must be managed. I always emphasize this point, and I hope you listen to me. Now let's look at the market forecast, which I always show you. Here we have detailed information on options and derivatives. As we can see from the volatility skew, experts in the field will understand immediately what I mean. The forecast for this stock on June 20th suggests it will be in the range of $1,500. This implies that by the end of the month, the stock is more likely to drop by 1 to 2% rather than rise. If we look further out, for example, into August, the forecast suggests the stock will be around $1,200, $1,300. This indicates a substantial decline by the end of the summer. The market is factoring in a lot of variables here. I do not advise or recommend going against the market. A significant amount of information is embedded in these forecasts. Yes, some might not like this as the market indicates that the stock is more likely to fall. But if you go against the market, you might win once or twice, but in the long term, you will lose money. This has been proven, and there's no point in disputing it. If you want to bet against the market, go ahead, it's your money. But I won't and don't want to argue with the market. Looking at November 2024, the forecast is that the stock will be around $900, which is significantly below $1,000. This is a substantial drop. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. Again, there is a range here, and predicting the movement of cryptocurrencies is even more challenging than stocks. However, after such a strong consolidation, something is bound to happen. Either we will see a significant rise, possibly to $100,000, or another major move. In summary, the current market forecasts indicate a bearish trend for the MicroStrategy stock, suggesting it is likely to drop in the near term. Managing your positions and strategies is crucial to navigating these potential movements. The same principle applies to Bitcoin, where significant volatility could lead to substantial changes. Always remember to align your strategies with market trends and manage your risk appropriately. Undoubtedly, the company MicroStrategy has the potential to grow significantly, but we might also see a decline. Whether we can sustain growth is questionable. Honestly, I find it hard to believe. I suspect we might enter a recession by the end of the year, leading to a substantial drop in asset prices. Therefore, I don't believe Bitcoin will rise to $100,000. I am more pessimistic. I can see the possibility of breaking through a level momentarily, experiencing a false breakout, and then Bitcoin starting to correct and decline. Again, this is just my opinion, not an action recommendation. I'm just sharing my thoughts. There was also a report, and the company's CEO talked about their development. However, I still haven't received a clear answer about why there are such massive sales. At least there have been significant sales recently. Last month, nothing much happened, but the CEO was selling $5 to $7 million worth of shares daily. This is very serious. I still haven't found an answer as to why the owner is getting rid of the stock in such a promising company. If he believes in Bitcoin, he should invest in the stock because the stock is growing faster than Bitcoin. Something seems off. Either the person doesn't want to make money or there's something much more serious going on. I think it's not that simple. Again, these are just my thoughts. I also don't want to forget the most crucial point, unexpected sell-offs. For example, if there are sharp sell-offs on a Saturday or Sunday, and Bitcoin drops by 30% over the weekend, it will undoubtedly have a very serious impact on the stock. If Bitcoin drops, we could see a drop of 50%, 60% in the stock price at the opening, which cannot be overlooked. Additionally, I strongly advise against using credit or trading with leverage. You must be cautious. But again, this is just my opinion, which I always adhere to. In conclusion, significant growth potential. There are also substantial risks associated with both the stock and its correlation with Bitcoin. The market forecasts suggest a bearish trend, and unexpected sell-offs could lead to significant losses. It is crucial to manage your strategies and positions carefully, avoid leverage, and remain cautious in such volatile conditions. I acknowledge that the stock could potentially rise to $2,000 again. The remaining growth to reach this level isn't that significant. However, after reaching that point, the company could indeed see an even steeper decline. This aligns with the risk-reward ratio in market forecasts. Additionally, I have started a new experiment where I created an entirely new portfolio from scratch. In this portfolio, I will show which stocks I buy, and the account is completely real. You can follow along to see what stocks I purchase and what actions I take. The 0 episode is already out. As soon as a sufficient amount of money accumulates from monetization and support, I will remind you that all money from the channel and all support funds go into this account. Once a substantial sum is accumulated, I will record the next video where I will show which stock I bought and what my next steps will be. We will continue to replenish and systematically develop the portfolio. Feel free to ask questions in the comments if something is unclear. I will be happy to help. Good luck to everyone.